everyone. It's a beautiful morning here in South Tampa. I just wanted to let everyone know that I will be taking a motorcycle trip here towards the end of this month of May, and my turnaround destination is Glacier National Park, and I will be visiting many national parks, monuments, synagogues, all sorts of roadside attractions along the way on this trip. Originally, this trip was scheduled to, I was going to be going to Alaska, but since I cannot go through Canada, riding to Alaska just isn't practical or possible at this point. So what I thought I would do is give a quick introduction of this trip and a quick 2, maybe 3-minute rundown of the motorcycles that I'm taking. Most of you know that I am a motorcycle enthusiast. I have been riding a motorcycle now for 41 years, since I first went to college. Quick little story, I bought a new car to go to college, and my parents wouldn't let me take it the first semester. So at my first year, I was at University of Nebraska at Lincoln, and there was an East Campus that I had to go to for a couple of classes. Well, my parents said, we'll send you money for a bike. Okay, I bought a bike. Problem is, it was a motorcycle and not a bike, so splitting hairs a little bit, but ever since then, I was hooked. And so anyway, the journey continues. I've traveled many states on motorcycle over the years. I've attended the Sturgis Rally probably a dozen times over the years, and other rallies and other rides throughout Colorado and the Midwest. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and give you sort of an introduction to the motorcycle that I'm taking. And just so everyone knows, I have more than one, and there's no rational reason to have one motorcycle, let alone 3. But of course, you know, being a gearhead, as we call ourselves, I can rationalize many more than that. But with the blessing of my wife, I'm allowed to have 3 of them to take up half of our carport. So as that says, I will start on the motorcycle I'm taking on my trip. Okay, so what I'm taking is what they call a full dresser or a touring bike. This is a Harley Davidson, and by the way, all 3 of my motorcycles are Harley Davidsons. Harley Davidson has been around. Ironically, they were started in 1903, just like Road of Shalom. Interesting. Anyway, so I think every road should ride Harleys. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so this is a Harley Davidson FLHTK. What that is it is a full dress touring bike. And its common name is a Ultra Limited. So what makes the Ultra Limited, I'll go over a few things. A couple things. You've got 3 headlights in front. The main headlight, the 2 on the sides, lights up the whole road at night. I've got double disc brakes in front, cast aluminum wheels. It has a 103 cubic inch motor. It's a 2-cylinder motor. Not a lot of horsepower, but it's all about the torque. It's like a giant tractor. It just goes, and lumbers along. This bike is made for one thing in particular, and that is just to easily cover mile after mile after mile in comfort. The suspension system is an air suspension system that I can adjust, so it gives you the best possible ride that you can expect on 2 wheels. It has side saddlebags down below here, and it has what they call a trunk and a rack on the top here. I also have what they call a magnetic tank bag, and you can see there's a map installed there. I do have GPS, but the map is very, very handy. This has what they call right down here, these are lower fairings, and there's a glove box on each side for storage. The fairings down below open up to allow airflow in. There is the little vents here on the side. Then you can actually dictate airflow or cut airflow off as time or weather and temperature dictates. A lot of chrome. I don't polish my bikes all the time because I actually use them and I ride them in any kind of weather. It makes no difference to me. I think if you're just going to ride it when it's nice out, find another hobby. So anyway, 2 antennas in back. I'll go over the 2 antennas in a minute here. Here's the other saddlebag, and I've got the leather protectors to protect the saddlebags. Getting in and on and off the bike, you're constantly banging up that saddlebag, so I'll keep it as nice as I can. On this side of the bike, you see this down here. This is a heel-toe shifter. That's how you shift gears. The bike is a 6-speed, so basically 6th gear is an overdrive for riding on the highway. Up here in front, you notice right here I've mounted a GoPro camera, and I just want to give a shout out to Justin James and James family for giving me a GoPro to use on this trip, as I will be taking film throughout my journey, so that way you can ride with me. I'll go over the dashboard a little bit here. It's if you've never looked at a motorcycle dashboard, I've got a few extra things. One, I have my iPhone here, and my iPhone is connected to the GoPro, so I will be running the GoPro camera by the iPhone. I do have GPS, and I do have a drink holder, which is important. A couple things about the Ultra Limited. If you see here, a little dial down here, those are heated hand grips. You can get a heated seat as well. I chose not to. But the heated hand grips are really nice because on a cold day or a rainy day, it helps keep your temperature up there. Typical dashboard, you've got your fuel gauge, you've got your outside temperature, you've got your oil gauge, you've got your voltage and all that kind of stuff, and how many miles you go and all those kind of things. It's got a complete entertainment system. It's AM, FM, satellite radio, which I don't use the satellite. I rarely ever use the radio in general. The CD player I use on occasion, but again, very rarely. The features that I will be using on the trip are a CB and weather band radio. Thus the 2 antennas. One is for the FM and AM radio and everything. The other antenna is specifically for the CB radio or the weather band. Up here on the dash, you've got for your spotlights, there's 2 extra lights in front. I can shut off all the speakers. It's just turned front and back. I can hit this here. It's called cruise control. Yes, motorcycle has over on this side has electronic cruise control. So a lot of comforts go in these bikes anymore. Everything from the radio over here can be controlled without leaving your hand, taking your hand off the hand grip. So you don't even have to touch anything on the actual physical radio itself. Cruise control, once this is flipped on, everything is controlled from here as well. You've got a clutch on the left side, and you've got your front brake on the right side over here. And down below, you see that giant pedal. That is for the rear brake pedal. So it's got about a 6-gallon gas tank that you fill up. I also have, there is an intercom system. In fact, the back button is right here for the back one, and there's one right here underneath the tank bag, and that is for if you have a rider and passenger, they want to converse back and forth without the wind noise, you can hook up the intercom. Or if you ride in a group, you can all go on the same frequency and you can all talk together, or you can do it via Bluetooth, however you want to do it. But those are just some of the options. The bags hold a fair amount of items in them. If you bear with me here, I'm one-handed, so I'm going to stop for a second and come right back to it. Okay, now that I got the bag open, Ken, it says Harley Davidson. It says, I got to tell you, Harley Davidson knows how to brand everything. Just for example, I got a mug here, Harley Davidson, of course. Nice thing about Harley Davidson, a quick little story. On the weekends, I usually ride out to up to Ocala or Dade City, that type of thing. And several weeks ago, I took some day-old pizza with me, and I'm sitting on the side of the road, my bag open, my trunk open, and I'm eating pizza and drinking a soda. And I had one guy ride by, slow down, said, "You okay?" "Yep, I'm fine, I'm fine." And he kept on riding. Next guy came up on the same direction I was going, pulled out in front of me, stopped on the side of the road, came up to make sure that I wasn't broken down. So it's really unique when you're on the road. Motorcycle, and by the way, I let him have a piece of pizza. We enjoyed pizza and a soda together. So when you're on the road by yourself or with a group, everybody else on motorcycles they stop to help each other, which is a really, really nice thing. And I do also have I pay a little extra for it, my insurance, for the roadside assistance, and I also get it as part of the HOG member group, Harley Owners Group. I also get roadside assistance as well, so quite handy. So in here, on this one, you can just sort of see, and I haven't even started packing yet, but in here is my complete rain suit for inclement weather, of course. I have an air pump, I've got bungee cords, and there will be tools, everything on this. On the right side, which is the right side bag here, is where you store all those quick things you need, because if you're on the road and you have to pull over, that puts the bike between you and the road. You're not standing on the road getting stuff out of your saddlebag. So just a quick little tip there. As you can see, if I play the radio too loud, Cheryl has the option of lowering the volume or raising the volume kind of thing. So there's some control for the people in the back. The back trunk opens up. It's got a luggage rack. Now when I go on my trip, you're going to see things piled up here. You're going to see the back passenger seat area will be taken up with a backpack as well, leaving just enough room for me. I will be taking food for about 5 to 7 days with me at a time, and I will be taking enough clothes for about, again, 5 to 7 days, so I can actually do laundry quite often. And it's my intention to, on most of this trip, is to do camping. And I won't say more than that, because when you see the flyer coming out for the fundraiser associated with this, you'll see that that's some of the questions about camping. By the way, I mentioned to the board a few months ago that since I'm taking this trip, and a lot of people raise money on motorcycle trips, why doesn't RODEF find a way to make a little money off this as well? And I am more than happy to do it. I've been at RODEF now to be 4 years this August, actually 4 years this month. I came here for my interview, and I just love the people, and it's just been a very, very good fit for myself and Cheryl and Ginger. And a couple of years ago, as everybody knows, I went through, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and the prognosis wasn't good, but I'm happy to say right now I'm 2 years with no recurrence of cancer. And again, that's one of the reasons I'm taking this trip. I'm not putting things off anymore. I'm going to be doing the things that I've always wanted to do, and I will continue to do so. To me, life is not about reaching a goal. Life is about what you do to get to the goal. So I don't really set goals. Like on this trip, I'm like, my turnaround is Glacier National Park, but that's not my goal. My goal is to actually enjoy the trip, have fun, and enjoy the travels. So again, I hope you guys all come with me. Now in the trunk here, again, they all have locks, and it's called a barrel key. It's a round key, sort of an odd key. And the key fob, by the way, is like you have in your car. If I have the key fob in my pocket and I'm more than 10 feet away from the motorcycle, you can't start the motorcycle. So a little bit of safety stuff there. Of course, there's more storage here. Again, more branding like Harley Davidson. That's just the way it goes. So you got storage here. You got storage in the trunk, and of course, look what I found. I found 2 of my helmets. Yes, contrary to popular belief, I do have helmets. And I have, of course, a hat here, a Harley Davidson hat, and a Cabela's hat. So this is what they call a half helmet, and this is actually pretty good in the weather. Gives you a lot less protection, but it does nonetheless give you protection. And then gloves. I'm going to have 3 different kinds of gloves with me. Again, branding Harley Davidson. These are perforated. And the reason you wear gloves twofold is that your hand grips, it keeps you having a good grip on your grip. Your hands don't get, they don't slide around when they get sweaty and everything. You have a nice grip on your hand grip. And then God forbid if you get in an accident, it helps protect your hands from the cement and getting the rash. This other helmet here is the one I bought just recently, specifically for this trip. It has a face shield. It also has if I can get this, there's venting up here, so it allows air to come through. Yeah, not a lot of air, just enough so you don't sweat too much. And then there's also, in here, as you can see, There is a night shield or a day shield that comes up. So if you don't have your sunglasses, you've got the shield. And then this is what they call a modular helmet. So it opens completely up like this, so it can let a lot of air flow through. So when you get to a stop, you lift this up and you just don't die of heat stroke. Helmets are hot. They offer tons of protection, obviously. And the technology that's gone into these is absolutely incredible. The jacket I'll be taking is a textile jacket, not a leather jacket. Textile, the reason you wear leather or textile is basically there's a formula, and it's called like a slide formula. So if you fall off the bike, how long you can slide before the textile actually rips up and exposes the undergarment, which would be t-shirt or skin. The same thing with leather. And that's one reason you wear leather boots, is because most of your motorcycle injuries are foot injuries when something like this happens. Now, I chose textile because it's a little bit lightweight, but it also has, I don't know if you can tell or not, again, Harley Davidson, of course. There are inserts here for level 3 protection, which is actual padding. How effective it is, I don't know, but they say it's pretty effective. And if you look at guys riding racing motorcycles, they wear the leather, and then they have the level 3 protection. So the other couple quick things, motorcycles have come a long ways over the years. This bike also has ABS. I mean, I know I'm missing a lot of things, but again, I hope you enjoy going on the journey with me. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to see a lot of different things, go a lot of different places, and I hope to see you when I get back.